The air is thick, hot, wrong in a way you can't name. The forest, if you can call it that, is a tangle of tree ferns and giant club mosses pressing up from red, iron-rich mud. There are no flowers, no birds, no sound of insects, just wind and the creak of ancient wood, and somewhere beneath that, a low, rhythmic scraping against stone. Something is moving. It doesn't rush. It doesn't need to. It stands 2 meters long and weighs as much as a male lion, and the fin rising from its spine, that grotesque, magnificent sail of skin and bone, catches the morning heat like a solar panel tuned by 40 million years of evolution. It scans the clearing. Its prey, a squat, pig-like creature grazing near the water's edge, hasn't looked up yet. You know the dinosaurs. Everyone does. Tyrannosaurus, Spinosaurus, the giants that haunted this planet for 165 million years and burned into our collective imagination like nothing else in natural history. But here's what the museum posters never tell you. Before the first dinosaur ever drew breath, before the Triassic, before the Jurassic, before all of it, something else was already in charge. Something older, something stranger, something that, by every ecological measure, was just as dominant, just as terrifying, and just as perfectly engineered for its world as any T-Rex would ever be. And here is the part that should stop you cold. That creature is more closely related to you than it ever was to any dinosaur. This is the story of Dimetrodon, and this is BEASTORY. Wind the clock back. Not 66 million years, the KPG boundary, the asteroid, the end of the dinosaurs. Further, keep going. Past 200 million, past 250 million, all the way to 295 million years ago, deep inside a geological epoch called the Permian Period. The Earth you arrive at is almost unrecognizable. There is one continent, one. Scientists call it Pangaea, a single supercontinent stretching nearly from pole to pole, surrounded by a global ocean called Panthalassa. No Atlantic, no Pacific as we know it, just one colossal landmass baking under a sun that beats down without mercy on the interior. The climate is extreme, viciously so, because when you have a continent that size with no moderating ocean in the middle, the interior turns into a furnace in summer and a frozen wasteland in winter. Seasonal temperature swings that would kill most modern animals. Rainfall concentrated in narrow coastal bands. Vast interior deserts stretching further than the eye could follow. And yet, life is everywhere. The swamps along the equatorial belt are dense with lycopsid trees and giant horsetails. Rivers cut through floodplains of red, oxidized earth. Shallow, warm seas teem with sharks, coelacanths, and reef systems stranger than anything alive today. On land, a full ecosystem has assembled itself. Herbivores, carnivores, scavengers, burrowers, an entire web of life operating entirely without dinosaurs, entirely without birds, entirely without flowers or bees or grasses. This is the world of the early Permian. It is brutal, it is alien, and it is very much alive. And at the very top of its food chain, surveying all of it from the high ground of evolutionary dominance, stands a creature that paleontologists classify not as a reptile, not as a dinosaur, but as a synapsid, the founding lineage of everything that would eventually become warm-blooded, the lineage that leads in a straight and unbroken line to every mammal on Earth, including the one watching this video right now. Meet Dimetrodon, genus name from the Greek, D2, metro, measure, odon, tooth, 2 sizes of teeth. That detail alone tells you everything about what this animal was. It wasn't a browser, a grazer, or a filter feeder. It was a dedicated, specialized, anatomically committed killer. Let's start with the skull, because the skull is extraordinary. Long, deep, and powerfully built, proportionally larger than almost any land predator of its size alive today. Inside that skull sat 2 distinct types of teeth. Long, piercing canine-like fangs at the front for puncture and grip, and smaller, serrated teeth toward the back, designed for shearing flesh. This is called heterodonty, differentiated teeth, and in the Permian, it was a biological innovation so advanced it would define the mammalian lineage for the next 295 million years. You have it too. Incisors, canines, molars. You are, in the most literal sense, a direct evolutionary heir to what Dimetrodon started. The body behind that skull is somewhere between a crocodile and a large monitor lizard in overall shape, but squatter, more heavily muscled through the chest and neck. Dimetrodon walks in a semi-sprawled posture, limbs jutting outward before angling down to the ground. Less efficient than the fully upright posture of later mammals, but still capable of surprising bursts of speed. Fossil trackways suggest it could move with real purpose when it needed to. And then, the sail. Rising from elongated neural spines extending from the vertebrae along its back, spines that in some specimens reach nearly a meter in height, this sail of skin and blood vessels is the feature that stops everyone cold. It is dramatic, it is bizarre, and for over a century, paleontologists argued about what it actually did. The leading hypothesis? Thermoregulation. By orienting its sail toward the morning sun, Dimetrodon could absorb heat and raise its core body temperature faster than any of its competitors, becoming alert, mobile, and dangerous while its prey was still sluggish with cold. Turn the sail away from the sun, and the blood vessel network radiates excess heat outward, preventing overheating in the midday furnace. It is an elegant solution to the Permian's savage temperature extremes, a biological solar panel and radiator combined in one spectacular structure. At its largest, Dimetrodon grandis reaches 4.6 meters, nearly 15 feet, and weighs somewhere between 250 and 300 kilograms. It is, by every measure, the apex predator of the early Permian. Nothing hunts it. Nothing challenges it. For nearly 40 million years, it owns every ecosystem it enters. It is early morning. The floodplain is still cold. The Dimetrodon has been motionless for 10 minutes, sail angled precisely toward the risen sun. Its blood is warming. Its muscles are loosening. Across the clearing, a herd of Edaphosaurus, a sail-backed herbivore, bulkier and slower, with peg-like teeth for grinding vegetation, grazes along the riverbank, completely still in the pre-dawn chill. They are cold. They are slow. They are exactly what Dimetrodon is waiting for. It moves. The gait is a lateral undulation, body swaying in that ancient, sprawl-limbed rhythm. But it's fast, faster than you expect from something this size. Fossil trackway evidence shows Dimetrodon could cover ground with a bounding stride when motivated, and right now, it is very motivated. The distance closes. 30 meters, 20, 10. The Edaphosaurus at the edge of the herd registers movement. Starts to turn. Too late. The bite is the kill. Dimetrodon has no venom, no claws evolved for slashing, no ability to constrict. What it has is a jaw that delivers one of the most mechanically effective bites in the Permian world, and those front canine teeth, thick, slightly recurved, are designed to punch through bone and lock. Studies of jaw biomechanics in Dimetrodon suggest a bite force that, relative to its skull size, rivals modern large predators. It bites, it holds, and it twists. The prey animal has no answer for this. It is over quickly. As it feeds, it does something else worth noticing. It tears. The differentiated rear teeth aren't just evolutionary novelty, they function, shearing flesh from bone with a precision that more primitive predators, with their uniform peg-like teeth, simply cannot match. This animal is not just powerful, it is efficient.
In the Permian, this is what dominance looks like.
And then, 252 million years ago, the world ends. Not metaphorically, not gradually. The world ends. What scientists call the Permian Triassic extinction event, and what everyone who studies it simply calls the Great Dying, is the single most catastrophic mass extinction in the history of complex life on this planet. It is not close. It makes the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs look restrained. In the KPG event, roughly 75% of species disappear. In the Great Dying, the number is 96%. 96% of all marine species, 70% of all land vertebrate species, nearly every complex ecosystem on Earth dismantled in a geological eye blink. The trigger? A volcanic event in what is now Siberia, the Siberian Traps, where massive flood basalts erupt continuously for perhaps 1 million years, releasing carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and methane into the atmosphere in quantities so vast they destabilize the global climate entirely. Oceans acidify, temperatures spike. The ozone layer, damaged by volcanic halogens, lets UV radiation pour through. Oxygen levels in the ocean collapse. The seas, quite literally, suffocate. On land, the consequences are catastrophic. The Permian's carefully balanced ecosystems, those swamp forests, those floodplain communities, those food webs Dimetrodon sat atop, collapse from the bottom up. The plants die first, then the herbivores that ate them, then the predators. Dimetrodon itself was actually gone slightly before the main extinction pulse. The larger species of the genus disappear from the fossil record around 272 million years ago, as conditions begin deteriorating through the middle and late Permian. But the broader synapsid lineage, the family Dimetrodon belonged to, the order it helped define, is shattered by the Great Dying, a dynasty 70 million years in the making, reduced to fragments. For a long time, in the ash and the silence that follows, almost nothing moves. Here's the thing about extinction. It is rarely total. When the Great Dying finally exhausted itself, a handful of synapsid lineages survived, battered, diminished, ecologically marginal, but alive. And in the emptied, recovering world of the early Triassic, they began, slowly, to diversify again. These survivors, the therapsids, and within them a group called the cynodonts, would spend the next 50 million years quietly accumulating the features we now associate with mammals: warm blood, fur, live birth, a four-chambered heart, differentiated teeth, a feature their ancestor Dimetrodon pioneered 295 million years before. By the late Triassic, the first true mammals emerge, small, nocturnal, spending their days hiding from the dinosaurs that now dominate the world, but carrying within their genomes, written in the language of their bones and their blood, every innovation that the synapsid line had been developing since Dimetrodon stalked the Permian floodplains. When you look at the fossil of a Dimetrodon, you are not looking at a dinosaur's ancestor. You are looking at yours. Dimetrodon sits inside the synapsid clade, the great lineage that defines itself by a single temporal opening in the skull behind each eye socket. Look at your own skull. You have it. Every mammal does. Every dog, every whale, every bat, every human being on this planet carries that same anatomical signature that first appeared in the ancestors of Dimetrodon over 300 million years ago. The dinosaurs evolved, ruled for 165 million years, and were wiped out, leaving only birds behind. The synapsid line, Dimetrodon's line, was knocked down, nearly erased, but never fully broken. It bent under the weight of the Great Dying, and it came back. It hid in the shadow of the dinosaurs for 150 million years, and it came back. It survived a second mass extinction, and it came back. It kept coming back. Because that is what this lineage does. You are what that lineage became. The next time you feel your body warm itself on a cold morning, the slow cellular return of energy and alertness that comes with the rising sun, understand that this is an ancient thing you're doing, a Permian thing. The same heat-seeking, thermoregulating intelligence that powered the most feared predator on Earth 290 million years ago still pulses, in modified form, in the biology you inherited. You are, in the deepest possible sense, the descendant of a monster, and that monster never stopped winning. If Dimetrodon just rewired the way you think about your own body, that's exactly what BEASTORY is here for. Subscribe so you never miss the next resurrection. And if you want to go deeper into the age before dinosaurs, our video on the Permian's strangest survivors is waiting for you right now. The past is never dead. It's walking around in your bones.